is a presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
Two historic programs in ACC basketball. North Carolina and North Carolina State. They battled in classic bouts throughout ACC basketball history. Tonight, they meet again for the 226th time. Welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Tar Heels have made that familiar trek down Interstate 40 to face their rivals to the east. Number 19, North Carolina, out into the arena, and they were not greeted fondly. Folks, outside of Tobacco Road, this may be the most underrated rivalry in the country, but it is one of the most emotional, one of the deepest tradition rivalries in college basketball. It's North Carolina and NC State, and this game has title implications. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brand along with Mike Jaminski. North Carolina comes into this arena tonight on a tear. Mike, how do you stop them?
Well, the last 9 teams haven't figured that out, and they haven't figured out how to calm Marcus Page down either. I think that may be the key, but he has been playing at a high level for this team all year long. Really had to be a scorer early on, was a very dependable three-point shooter for him, can knock down the mid-range shot. He also leads them and assists him. He has done everything for this ball club. He's having a terrific year.
Take a look at the Food Line starting lineups. Kennedy Meeks and Leslie McDonald, they both have injured ankles. Tokoto is the best defender. All right, for State, they've got the ACC's leading scorer, T.J. Warren.
He's a little bit of a throwback. I mean, he shoots the three well enough that you have to honor it, but really is a mid-range scorer, plays in the paint. He's the best offensive rebounder in the conference.
All right, the Food Line starting lineups for NC State. Tyler Lewis is the key facilitator. All 5 guys tonight have to be active on the boards. We're just about set, folks. It is a high-flying, gravity-defying night in Raleigh. Carolina, 9 straight wins. The Wolfpack needs a win for their tournament resume. Carolina State, and it's next. The Hall of Fame here at NC State in Raleigh. And you talk about tradition, national championships, NC State. And they come into this game, they need a win for their tournament resume. Mike, take us through the 4 keys to the game.
Well, for North Carolina, Roy Williams talked about manufacturing easy offense, Tim, and getting steals, getting out and running, offensive rebounds. But to that end, I mean, that was a real issue in the first game for North Carolina State. They've really got to compete on the boards. 22 offensive rebounds for the Tar Heels in that game, 20 second chance points.
The officials tonight, Les Jones, Brian Dorsey, Doug Schowes. We're underway, and Carolina has it first. This place is loud.
Should be a great matchup with Tokoto and Warren going at it.
And the foul right out of the gates, and that's going to be on T.J. Warren. That's the last thing NC State wants.
Yeah, especially a cheap foul like that, too, on a jump shot. T.J. Warren's presence out on the floor, obviously a huge key for this team, and he cannot afford to get in early foul trouble.
So Tokoto at the line. He struggled at the line this season and makes his first.
Had a game early on, Tim, where he went 4 of 16, and a lot of guys wouldn't recover from that mentally, but he's really worked at it.
Shooting only about 51% from the line. You look at the Tar Heels woes at the line, and Tokoto makes them both. So I think it's imperative that NC State gets off to a good start, and that's not the way they wanted to start.
Yeah, Mark Godfrey talked about the first 15 minutes over in Chapel Hill. His team just couldn't run anything, and I think this matchup key right, too, with Page and Lewis.
Warren misses. Tokoto comes down with a rebound. Transition. Tokoto has it taken away.
North Carolina State got lucky. Nobody stopped him on the drive up the court.
Tough shot for Turner. Air ball, not even close.
Well, here's the play. I mean, somebody has got to identify the ball with the guy with the ball, even if he's not your guy, and stop him. But they made a nice defensive play at the end.
Austin Turner got a good look, but he was way off. Maybe some nerves to start here early. Leslie McDonald. McAdoo misses the layup.
McAdoo was very aggressive in that first game, attacking who was ever guarding him, and that's a tough cover for Vandenberg. Doesn't have great lateral movement that time, and it's going to be tough for him to cover McAdoo off the bounce.
Could be an interesting matchup right here. Tyler Lewis and Marcus Page. Watch that one all night. And it'll belong to NC State with 13 on the shot clock. Hey, fans, don't forget you can watch TJ Warren on an ISOCam. It's streaming live right now on the ACC.com/ISOCam. And following tonight's game, check out ACC postgame live on the ACC.com. Shot clock at 10. Lewis doesn't like to shoot, but he's going to have to here.
Yeah, that's he just couldn't get good. He couldn't use that screen and roll up top.
Bang! Just like that.
Roy Williams was wondering about Kennedy Meeks and how he would react. This is the first real injury that he's had, and young guys sometimes don't deal with that well, but that was a beautiful fadeaway. He's been a big part of this 9-game winning streak.
Again, Kennedy Meeks, 6'9", 285, made that jumper like a forward. Turner, nice pass underneath. NC State is on the board.
Well, Turner's the one guy you got to make drive. You can't give him open looks from 3, and he made a nice play that time. Warren moves very well without the basketball.
Warren loves that backdoor when it's open. Meeks gets into trouble. They double him. Tokido turns it over. Turner gives it right back. Page off balance. Frenetic pace early. Lewis, ball was kicked. Lewis has played about 90 minutes without a turnover.
Well, when he gets a bigger guy, I mean, here's the Meeks, the nice shot, the good fadeaway. Testing that ankle early on, and then the backdoor cut, as you said. 63% of his points are going to come in the paint area.
Warren draws iron. McDonald looks at it, goes back to Meeks. He proved he could knock it down. Austin Turner, he's 0 for 2, but he's been active. And how about this pass? And Warren is fouled. Foul will be on Tokido, and that'll be his first.
Oh, we talk about Tyler Lewis really takes care of the basketball. And that was a tough pass, especially to throw a lob against a player like Tokido can get up as well. Pretty good body control by Warren.
Warren's a 70% free throw shooter and makes the first. He's got 3 points. His scoring average has gone up when Tyler Lewis has become a starter. Makes them both. How about those numbers? 5th leading scorer in the nation. This is McDonald. And Tokido is there, has it blocked. This is a travel turnover, Carolina.
Nice play by Kyle Washington inside. Terrific block. He's their energy player inside. He's playing at a high level. Didn't go for the pump fake, stayed on the ground. Good defensive play. Timmy scored, but he's scored in double figures 2 out of the last 3 games. I think he could be an X factor for them in this ball game.
How about the job Roy Williams has done turning this club in the right direction? They started the ACC season 1-4. This is Warren again.
That was a U-turn. It wasn't turning in the right direction.
Page. Around the rim, comes back out. And Meeks is fouled. Vandenberg picks up his first.
It's been a trend here early. North Carolina starting to establish themselves on the offensive glass. And once you do that in the referee's mind, you're going to get some calls. So NC State has got to do a better job of blocking out. Vandenberg looked over the bench and patted his chest, saying he missed an assignment that time.
Now Meeks is only a 59% free throw shooter. This is the first. We mentioned he suffered a hyperextended knee and sprained ankle in that win over Wake on Saturday. And so Vandenberg goes out of the ball game. And B.J. Anya comes in.
Those are going to be two wide bodies going at it inside.
Well, he's a space eater now. 6'9", 240, 340.
And I think it may be more of a confidence thing because that's, Meeks has got a very nice shot. He's got soft hands. And I think as he gets to the line, he just gets a little bit more confidence that percentage should go up.
Turner looked at it, goes to the baseline for two, and gets the roll.
They are really running at him, forcing him to put the ball on the floor. They do not want him to get open looks from three.
State by one. Page 0 for 2.
Yeah, Page struggling early, and we were wondering about that matchup, especially defensively, Lewis against Page. He's been able to keep him out of the lane so far, making him settle for jump shots.
Tyler Lewis, 95 assists, just 24 turnovers. And Turner is fouled. This will be on McDonald. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Free expression tunnel. Look at Mark Godfrey. Coming up just a little bit later. There's a look at Mark Godfrey in his third season at NC State, 65-34 here in Raleigh. Trying to get to the NCAA tournament, and this game would help his resume.
Son Cameron just signed with Siena. Up our good friend Jimmy Patsos, the coach up there.
Shot clock has not been a factor in this ball game.
Both Britt and Page out on the floor right now for North Carolina. Moves Page off the ball.
Lewis looks up and sees the shot clock at 10. Goes to Warren for the step back jumper. And that'll be NC State basketball. Last touch by Page.
And in this stretch, Tim, that Lewis has been playing a lot. They've been playing teams that play mostly zone, which I think plays into his hands. It's easier for him. This is the first man-to-man team they've seen in a while.
Talked about his 11 assists and no turnovers against Virginia Tech. Here he is for three. Bang!
Hit a couple of late threes in the game this year to bail North Carolina State out. He is a capable three-point shooter, and just has struggled this year.
Mark Godfrey talked about his club needing an early start, a good start against Carolina. This is it.
Yeah, only to know this has been a terrific first 5 minutes, and coming in only 13% from him, 6 of 44, but a big one. And that's when he gets going, this crowd really reacts to him.
Page has been quiet. This is Britt over to Johnson. See if this group can give him a little energy. Turnaround jumper. And he gets the roll. Nicely done by Bryce Johnson, who just came into the ball game.
We talked about the important guys in this 9-0 stretch, and we talked about Meeks and McDonald, but Bryce Johnson has really given them a terrific lift off the bench.
Mike, he's one of those guys. Last year, he was like Isaiah Hicks is now. He was just averaging 8 minutes as a freshman. There's a turnover and a block. But we talked about Tyler Lewis and what a tear he has been. Assists to turnovers have been terrific. He's been taking care of the ball.
No, and that's the thing. And it's the difference. You see 21 assists, no turnovers, which is out of otherworldly. But I really believe we're going to see more of Cat Barber in this game, depending on if Page catches fire. They're going to need his defense.
McAdoo. And a great follow by Bryce Johnson. We just talked about how he's growing up, how he's come in and given this club energy. Big follow there.
His guy left him, and then there's nobody to check him out on the front of the rim.
Tied at 9. Britt now on Lewis.
NC State's half-court offense bogging down a little bit. They're getting late into the clock.
Behind the back by Warren, running one-hander and banks it in.
Nice decision. McAdoo is there, and instead of going all the way in, just checked up for the little floater.
Timeout to make some subs. Tyler Lewis will go out, and Cat Barber comes in. Now, Anthony Barber is a A little better shooter than Tyler Lewis, and maybe a little quicker defensively.
No, I know. I think he's one of their best perimeter defenders, no question about it.
This is Cat Barber with the ball. Lee has just checked in. Gives it back to Warren. Can't get the roll. But the follow is good. Kyle Washington.
We talked about it. I thought he had his coming out party against Syracuse. Played very well against that zone.
Took it down to the rack.
Wow.
How about this?
And that's how fast North Carolina comes back at you after a made basket, even to rush up the floor. How about that? Tokuto going left and finishing with the dunk.
This is for three. Anya with the rebound. Gets it back out to Lee. They'll reset. New 35. Lee looking for some room down that lane. Almost dribbled into trouble. Barber brings it back out with 15 on the shot clock. They got to go. Lee. Air ball. Still had more time on that clock. This is Page. Makes them pay at the other end.
Yeah, they really make you pay on a missed shot like that. It was a good defensive sequence, and on the air ball. Once again, it's just the offense just not running quite as smoothly with Lewis out of the ball game.
2 ties, 2 lead changes. And again, Lee dribbles into trouble and almost turns it over. Possession arrow belongs to NC State. Well, Tokuto trying to take over the middle. You miss at one end, they make you pay at the other. And we're tied at 13.
We're all tied at 13. Let's take a look at the AT&T fast analysis. And Tim, we talked about offensive rebounding that first game. A couple of early ones here. Kennedy Meeks inside getting fouled, and then Bryce Johnson with the flush inside. NC State needs to turn that trend around and start getting bodies on people.
Well, so far, Carolina shooting 35%. Keep in mind, one of the statistics we talked about earlier, the Wolfpack has held 13 of its last 19 opponents to 42% shooting or worse. State's played some serious defense, and they're doing it here early, and it's helping out. The transition buckets have hurt them.
Well, NC State just trying to do too much off the dribble at this point. North Carolina's done a nice job of stepping in and getting some steals.
Shot clock is at 7. They've got to know that coming out of a timeout. Lee on the baseline. Anya has it blocked, takes it back up. Possession arrow belongs to Carolina.
Well, B.J. Anya really plays below the rim and gets a lot of his shots blocked because of that. Just didn't see a real sense of urgency in that possession, Tim, with the timeout and the shot clock under 10.
Virginia, Syracuse, Duke, and North Carolina, the top 4 in the ACC. Carolina's got Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, and Duke after this. Good chance to move up as a turnover by the Tar Heels.
I think that top 4 is pretty well locked in. And I think the bottom 6 may be pretty well locked in. It's that group in the middle that has some work to do.
Well, in the expanded league, the bottom 6 will have to play on Wednesday. And then Pittsburgh, Clemson, NC State, Florida State, and Maryland, you would think. Then they come in on Thursday.
And top 4 get that double bye, and they don't have to show up to Greensboro till Friday.
Huge advantage. Shot clock has been a factor here for the last 5 minutes now for NC State. Again, it's down to 8. Cat Barber steps back. This is Lee. Tough shot by Lee. And banks it in.
Well, a start he needed. He has really been struggling to score the basketball. And the last 5 games, 18 points total.
Ball's loose. And Johnson again is there for the loose ball and picks up the foul by Anya. That's his first.
Well, here's that group, and that was a tough loss last night for Clemson at Wake Forest, setting them back. Pittsburgh has come back to that pack a little bit. They were out front. Important game. This could be a huge resume builder for NC State tonight.
Maryland, on the other hand, close losses to Virginia, Duke, and Syracuse. Johnson misses the first. He's only a 65% free throw shooter, and if you see a theme here, it's accurate, unless it's Page or maybe even McDonald. The rest of them struggle at the line. Of course, Joel James is probably the best at almost 80%.
Those are killers. So you just you miss two, and it's an empty possession, almost like a turnover.
State by 2. Absolutely no hurry. This is Turner with a tough shot. Anya with another rebound, and he's fouled. Now the big fella's only been to the free throw line 24 times this year. He's 13 of 24.
Yeah, like I said, with Meeks out of the game, there's a huge strength advantage right there playing against Johnson. Just unable to finish.
Johnson's 210 pounds. The big fella's 330, 340. Joel James comes into the ball game now. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Right now it's BJ time, and he rolls it in.
Marcus Page got an extended rest here in the first minute. I think they were concerned.
That's 5 turnovers now for the Tar Heels.
I think that Roy Williams may start to manage his minutes a little bit more. He's up 36 a game. I'm going to try to bring that number a little bit closer to 30 if possible.
Lewis working on Britt. Brings it back out. Back to 10 on the shot clock. Turner from way outside. Bang!
I'll tell you what, he has not lost confidence in his shot. He has taken some deep jumpers, missed his first one completely. And that was under duress, too.
Britt with a pull-up jumper and hits it. Boy, did they need that. All 5 North Carolina starters are now on the bench. Turner looked at that left side. Didn't feel strong enough or confident enough to go that way. They're going to give it to him. This is Lewis for 3.
So far, it's been NC State getting some offensive rebounds as well. 5 in the game.
Inside, outside right now. Turner gives it to BJ. Anya goes up, and he's fouled again. The bucket will count. Give it to the big fella. Let him go get some. 21-15. Pack. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Ruby Tuesday takes us around the ACC to check on conference action. Syracuse beat Maryland by 2. Greatest 2-hour and 36-minute rivalry in the history of the sport. Turgeon and Boeheim getting after each other at the end of that one. You see Duke had an easy win last night. Moving on, of course, as you look at Miami and Virginia now in the second half of that game, Cavaliers in control, and Pittsburgh and Boston College. So Pittsburgh, we expected that, I think.
Setting up a great game over the weekend with Virginia and Syracuse to see who's going to be at the top of the league.
Cavaliers about to go to 15-1. Meanwhile, BJ makes the second, and NC State has its largest lead of the game. McAdoo has it partially blocked. Pack comes away with it.
NC State competing on the boards. I thing is, Tim, they both have 5 offensive rebounds, but North Carolina State is the team that's converting on them.
Freeman picks up his dribble, gets into some trouble. Lewis bails him out. Nice pass to the big fella. Hanya again. 6 points.
Well, so far, Tyler Lewis holding his own in this thing, and he just made a great play off a handoff.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to the Tar Heels.
Here's a look at Freeman was dead up there with a used up dribble, but then Lewis makes the smart play, goes after it, draws in the defense and the finish.
2 assists for Tyler Lewis.
Tyler Lewis really sitting on Page's left hand.
McAdoo with a tough turnaround. Ball still loose, taken away by Carolina.
Anya's he's been going after blocks he's got no chance of getting, and that's exposing the weak side glass.
Lewis becoming a star. Kicks it out the lead. Reverse layup, yes. Wow. Freeman comes in and has an impact.
Roy Williams just with his arms crossed, watching his team get carved up offensively. 13-2 run.
McAdoo. James comes away with it. Ball still loose. How about this? But Lee touched the line.
Wow, this is exactly the start that Mark Gottfried wanted. The first 14 minutes, this crowd is energized. His team is playing very well on the defensive end of the floor and running their offense as well.
Keep in mind, Carolina has won 9 straight games. Their last loss, January 20th. Their last win was against Duke. And Carolina trailed against Duke and came back to win it.
They only have 1 more home game left against Notre Dame. They'll have 3 on the road, 3 of 4.
Virginia Tech at Duke. This is a 3-ball. Yes. Shot clock violation. No bucket.
Yeah, just too late. I mean, that was a great find by Tokoto, but just not enough time to get the shot off.
Carolina folks are shaking their heads saying, what is going on? But it's still early and plenty of time. 5:40 remaining in the first half. Turner picks up his dribble and almost threw it away. Meeks is called for a personal foul over the back. Haviland and the ACC Network are giving you a chance to pick this year's All-ACC men's basketball first and second teams. So don't miss your chance to cast votes for your favorite players at the ACC.com/fanvote. Enter for your chance to win a VIP trip to the ACC tournament 2 weeks from tonight, matter of fact. Compliments of Haviland.
You know, it's ironic, Tim, that they talking about
Page with an incredible play. And the finish by Tokoto at the other end.
Well, let's see if North Carolina feeds off of that play. That was extraordinary hustle by Page. To those long passes from underneath out of bounds just invite steals.
What a save and a hustle play by Page, and hit the table hard on his hip.
Here's the play, that long pass. Actually, Jones Angel right there, the radio play-by-play man, makes the save on Page.
How about the sound when he hit the table? Foul is on Tokoto. That is his second. Now Roy Williams getting a little hot. The temperature gauge has been rising. Lewis brings it back out, recognizes he's got a new 35.
Well, they took Tokoto off of Warren so they could hide him a little bit defensively.
Lewis had it halfway down, came back out. Anya again. 8 points for the big fella.
He had 9 points in his last 7 games combined, Tim. Huge production off the bench.
Meeks touches the line. Nothing going North Carolina's way right now. It has been electric at PNC tonight. 19,722 seats in this arena, and every one of them has a fanny sitting in it. They're doing a nice job. Everything's tough.
Well, the thing is, too, they've got this lead without T.J. Warren. He's been held in check by North Carolina.
Freeman goes for the steal, and it'll belong to Carolina. Mark Gottfried thought that McAdoo touched it, or McDonald rather touched it. Ball still loose. There's Page.
And they've been coming up, North Carolina's been coming up with those 50-50 balls, the ones that hit the ground, and hustle play by Page, good finish.
And knocked out of bounds. Well, that was a dangerous pass, but State will get it back. Right now, they're going inside, they're going outside, and everything is coming the Wolfpack way. Well, you look at the Wolfpack and where they're getting their points. Down low for the big fella. He's matched his season and career high with 8 points.
Tim, I tell you, he had 9 points in his last 7 games total. Now, he did have 8 of those against Clemson 2 games ago, so capable of this, but he has been perfect from the floor. 3 rebounds, all those offensive, and then you look at T.J. Warren, his shot chart, 2 of 8 in this game. They have really had somebody in his shirt the whole time.
You know, Mike, something else we have to mention here. James Michael McAdoo, no points. He's 0 for 5 from the field, and they have to have James Michael scoring to be effective. He averages 14 a game. .15 on the shot clock. Starters back in for the Wolfpack. Vandenberg with the ball with 5 on the shot clock. Now they're in some trouble. Here he is. They're going to get a shot off barely.
It's been usually the ball has been winding up in the hands of the bigs out on in front with that clock down, and that's the last thing you want.
I'd get McAdoo involved if I could, offensively.
Remember, they won a game. They beat Florida State down there with him not scoring. So it is capable, but you definitely want to get him going offensively.
Tokoto now has 8 points. And he makes it a 7-point game. Turner got away with the one. No, he didn't. Les Robinson saw it, and that's the first on Ralston Turner.
And that is a foul of frustration for Turner. As I said, they've like Warren, they've had somebody in his jersey the whole time as well.
I said Les Robinson, obviously Les Jones. Les Robinson, the former coach here. Mike Gottfried now sitting in that seat. Come on, fellas, got to help me out with the turnovers. Here's McAdoo, and he's fouled.
Well, that's what happened in Chapel Hill, and it happened early in that McAdoo, especially with Washington on him, really tried to attack him and go at him. Did a nice little swim move that time to get in front. McAdoo likes to turn over that left shoulder.
Now, he has struggled at the line. I said he averages 14 points a game, but he's only a 53% free throw shooter. Misses the first. James Michael McAdoo is not the guy that they thought he was coming in. And he probably won't take over a game right now, but he sure gives this club energy when he comes in and when he's playing well.
And I also think that the presence of Kennedy Meeks has really helped him to have an extra big inside. Last year, they played 4 around him. And, just 2 bigs, that's the way that Roy Williams likes to coach.
And he gets the second, right at his average. So it's a 6-point game now with 2:25 to play in the first half.
And a tough defensive assignment for McAdoo having to guard Warren.
first minute of the game. Had a tough time getting into the flow, but he knocks down that tray.
And I think that's the shot. I mean, McAdoo's going to give him plenty of space.
And a blocking foul.
Yeah, that's good separation right there. You can see McAdoo just really reluctant to come out.
Pinches that one. So he misses the first. And has another one coming. And he makes the second. So with 2 minutes left.
Important couple of minutes for NC State. We talk about finishing halves, and you don't want to let North Carolina get any momentum going into the locker room.
Warren hit his last shot from the bonus sphere. He looked hard at that one and now takes it. Page with the alley-oop. And Johnson with a finish.
Yeah, terrific run that time. Bryce Johnson running the floor extremely well.
And McAdoo picks up the personal against T.J. Warren.
Here's the look, and it goes great because Page, look, he's got his eyes up already, sees that he's got a man out in front, and it is a terrific 40-foot pass.
And so a 6-point game with Warren at the line.
But NC State kind of turns the tables on North Carolina on that made basket. They push the ball up the floor. Warren gets a couple of free throws.
And misses the second. McAdoo off balance, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 more. So the crowd getting a little antsy now, and Mark Godfrey very animated on the sidelines. Foul is on Anya, his second.
Well, that's the decision you have to make right there for NC State. If who is Anya guard, because whoever it is, either McAdoo or Johnson, or he's going to face him. They're going to try to face him up and drive him.
Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we'll have stats, highlights, analysis, along with a preview of our third Kings of the Court show, where we tell you the story of the great David Thompson right here at NC State. All that and a whole lot more on the Hardy's halftime report. A great player David Thompson was. McAdoo with another one. And he rolls it in. 32-26.
Williams going to go smaller, going back to that backcourt of Page and Britt.
So Hubert goes out for the final minute. This is Turner. 60 seconds left in the first half. Offensive foul, and that'll be 2 on T.J. Warren. That is huge.
Yeah, and he's going to come immediately out of the game to pick it up on an offensive foul. You see that left arm going out on the push. You got a smaller guy on you. You don't need to do that. That was a little close.
Wow.
We were blocked off from it. I thought there was more of a push off.
Sure was a lot of movement. Ball still loose. Cat Barber has the ball for the tie-up. Is that possession arrow? They call a foul. They did call a foul on Nate Britt.
So North Carolina now, or North Carolina State in the bonus. They'll go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. And Cat Barber is 70% free throw shooter. Boy, here's a guy that's had an impact on this program since his very first game.
How about this, Tim? I mean, North Carolina, they're coming off a 100-point effort against Wake Forest in this winning streak, scoring about 78 points a game, and they're sitting at 26 right now in the first half.
Well, NC State, numbers-wise, 13 of the last 19 opponents shooting worse than 42%. Page. Britt. McDonald with a great backdoor cut. They didn't see him. 15 on the shot clock, 23 on the game clock. Inside to McAdoo, blocked away by Vandenberg.
Yeah, he's been playing center field defensively on this possession. That was nice weak side help. It's usually the second guy coming over that gets the block shot. He just comes from behind McAdoo, way under the basket.
Shot clock at 3. 1. He didn't get it off. Shot clock violation, timeout, NC State.
You got to take that 30-second timeout and try to get a play. Plenty of time to rush up the floor, 7.9.
We'll be back after this word from the Atlantic Coast Conference. North Carolina comes in ranked 19th. NC State comes in looking for an upset.
Well, and it's right there. Freeman does a good job keeping a body on him. McAdoo can't elevate. He gets pushed underneath.
Final 5 seconds. Barber's shot will not go, but he is fouled by Nate Britt. That's 2. Cat Barber, the 6'2 freshman from Newport News, Virginia.
His minutes have been down the last 5. Tyler Lewis getting more of them at the point guard position, but he's made a nice contribution here in the first half.
And misses the free throw.
Both teams leaving some points at the line.
2.6 seconds left in the first half. NC State just 7 for 11 from the free throw line. And that'll do it. Warren with 2 personal fouls, one of the big stories of this first half. NC State 14-4 when leading at the half. We'll have our halftime after this.
Out to the Raiders, 2. 1 shot from the backcourt off the board. The Tar Heels are going to move. How sweet it is.
Great time capsule video, 1983. Low to Bailey through the legs. How about that? 1987, the ACC Championship with Jimmy V. All the trophies, the classic battles, all the legendary players building traditions. And then the coach that started it all. The legendary, the luminary, the great Everett Case. Ready to start the second half at PNC Arena. NC State with the halftime lead. Look at this for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, that's tough to overcome. 11 turnovers in that first half. McAdoo had trouble getting going. Nothing from the field, and McDonald only 2 field goal attempts, but he had come in averaging 20 over his last 2.
Underway in the second half, the final 20 minutes. Lewis had a very nice first half, continued to control and manage the game, has that ball kicked. And so as McAdoo kicks it, it'll belong to State. Keep in mind, TJ Warren has 2 personal fouls. Quick pass, Turner can't get the roll. Rebound by Page.
And he had plenty of real estate in front of him. I don't think he's needed to settle for a jump shot.
And McDonald throws it away.
12th turnover early.
That's 12 turnovers, as you say, but that was a phantom pass. There was nobody in the area. Mike, what are some of the things we need to look for from North Carolina to get?
Well, and this is the thing. Marcus Page has been a second-half scorer, so I would look for him to be a little bit more aggressive in this half early on.
Shot clock down to 11. Lewis sees it. Puts up a jumper. The follow underneath, and Warren is fouled.
Talk about it. So many things that he does well, Tim, and three-point shooting, but he's the best offensive rebounder in the conference at a little over 3 a game. Nobody gets a body on him. Meeks just never really left the floor for the rebound.
So Kennedy Meeks picks up his second personal foul, and Warren knocks down the free throw. Pushes the lead back up to 9.
That's the point that Roy Williams made. He said, you know, this guy's going to get his points, but they want him to shoot a low percentage, which he did in the first half. But he not only leads the conference in scoring, but also in field goal percentage shooting, which is almost unheard of.
See if Carolina can get its giddy up as Tokido takes it down the lane, and there's a blocking foul. Today's coverage of ACC basketball being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women on the U.S. Armed Forces stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And we certainly appreciate what you do for us every single day.
Yeah, and that was a big whistle, Tim. That was Warren's third personal foul.
Here's Page up and under, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for one more.
That one on Vandenberg, and usually, you know, shot blockers don't try to take a charge, block a shot, do what you do best.
So Warren has 3 personals now and goes to the bench. Desmond Lee comes back in.
Let's keep a look at it, Tim. 18:40 mark is when Warren went out of the game. A big opportunity now for North Carolina to make some inroads into this 7-point deficit.
Roy Williams yells at them to move, so they do pick up the pace, get a little giddy up. Page picks up his dribble.
Lewis gimping around.
Meeks takes it up, and he's fouled by Vandenberg. That's 3 on Vandenberg.
Just came down a little bit with his arms. I think if he had stayed up straight, it wouldn't have called a foul on that play.
But the bottom line is it puts Meeks at the charity stripe.
Well, now B.J. Anya is going to have to rekindle that magic from the first half, because he was going to come into the game, and he was terrific in the first 20 minutes.
So Vandenberg and Warren now on the bench. Vandenberg, the only senior on this NC State roster. B.J. Anya played 13 minutes in that first half. How much can he take?
Well, that's the big question, conditioning-wise. You know, with both him and Meeks, North Carolina not nearly in the foul trouble that NC State is.
Anya makes that ball available for Lewis. So a nice play off the free throw rebound. This also makes matters more complicated for Lewis. Tyler Lewis now has to facilitate with Warren off the floor.
McDonald that time called for the hold, his second foul. And that's just good ball movement. Again, the way the game is being officiated this year, you cut hard and you force the guy to grab you and get a foul called.
Leslie McDonald struggling with a shot today. Now he's got 2 personals. Taking a little break. This energy in this building has been phenomenal tonight. Knocked out of bounds by Page. 21 on the shot clock.
Well, it's funny with this. You know, obviously Warren is their marquee player, but the two guys this crowd responds to are Tyler Lewis and B.J. Anye. When they are going and rolling, there's Warren on the bench. You wonder how Mark Gottfried is going to play this last 17 minutes out with him with 3 fouls.
Back outside Lewis with 8. Lewis, drop step, tough shot.
Really nice defense by Marcus Page.
Ahead to McAdoo. And the foul will be on Tokoto.
Pretty nice job, North Carolina State, getting back in transition that time. McAdoo really didn't have a shot. You come back, you see a lot of 3 white jerseys get in there. Turner really making that play.
J.P. Tokoto now has 3 personals. Mike, fouls becoming an issue in this game. Here's Desmond Lee.
See, I mean, that's where you give him a little bit of a break instead of having to guard Ward. Now Tokoto having to guard Lee, who has been struggling offensively.
Again, State uses a lot of the clock. Turner off balance and he's fouled.
That might be McDonald again. It is.
That's 3 on McDonald. That'll get Nate Britt off the bench.
Yeah, Roy Williams going small again. He had that backcourt out there with Page in the first half as well. So it takes Marcus Page, makes him a scorer, and Britt will be the primary ball handler.
Austin Turner, a 6'5" redshirt junior from Alabama. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
I thought you were going to go Keith Jackson on me with the Alabama. I know you know how he's that imitation.
That's my old partner.
I know.
I'm waiting for you to say Will Billy. $16:50 to play in the ball game. NC State is not backing off. McAdoo is fouled. The follow by Tokoto is no good. McAdoo will go to the line. That personal foul is on Kyle Washington. That's his 3rd.
Well, you know, a lot of times, Tim, guys who aren't shooting the ball well from the free throw line get a little timid, not want to get in there, but McAdoo, give him credit, he continues to attack the rim against whoever is guarding him.
And McAdoo continues to struggle at the line. 3 for 7 tonight. Vandenberg can only watch.
Lowest all time in the 53 in the inaugural season of the ACC.
Makes his 2nd. It's a 7-point game. So Carolina continues to stay within striking distance. And the 19th ranked Tar Heels are down to Duke by 12.
And a little zone now. They've been man-to-man. 1-2-2 zone. Trying to save people in foul trouble.
Turner for 3. Carolina pushes it. Underneath to Meeks. 5-point game.
Well, he just left Desmond Lee behind and created that 2-on-1 situation under the free throw line.
And a whistle away from the ball, and this will be, I believe, on Nate Britt. That's 3 on Britt. And so with 15:44 to play, continues to be a 5-point game. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Hey fans, don't forget, you can watch J.P. Tokoto now on the ISOCAM. It's streaming live on the ACC.com/ISOCAM. It'll give you a different angle from what you may be seeing. You can follow tonight's game. It's the ACC Postgame Live, of course. That's coming up a little bit later as soon as we're done here. The ACC Postgame Live, the ACC.com after the game.
Well, that ISOCAM wouldn't have been too exciting if we kept it on Warren over on the bench.
That was a quick little segment there. We'll be back. NC State, Carolina. Always fun to enter to win tonight's game, and it's a good one. 37-32, and there's a turnover by Lewis. He hasn't had many of those over the last 9 games.
Tim, he has not had a game of more than 2 turnovers all year.
Amazing. He sure has made a difference in this Wolfpack team. Tokuto, yes! 3-point game, and JP Tokuto with 10 points.
Slowly this team, North Carolina, working its way back into this game.
This has been a tough team over this stretch. They've got 9 straight. Carolina's been on a tear. Battle for the ball. Tie up. And a possession arrow will belong to
North Carolina.
The Tar Heels.
Yeah, here's the look, and just Ralston Turner went back to it again, and those guys got hung up in that pick and roll game.
You were keeping an eye on the clock. TJ Warren has just come back in.
Yeah, I just saw, Mark Gottfried saw that lead dwindling down to 3, and didn't like life without. Now he's going to go, looks like play a little bit of zone to try to hide Warren somewhat.
So Warren was on that bench for about 4 minutes. And Carolina crawled back to within 3. Blocked from behind.
Wow, that's and Warren makes the play defensively too.
Great block by Warren. Starts it the other way. This is Cat Barber. It's got to be hard, Mike, when you go out of the ball game, you're saddled with personals, to get into an offensive flow, to get into that rhythm.
Well, one, you got to be careful about charges if you're going to do something off the drive. Second of all, offensive rebounding, going over somebody's back, picking up a foul that way.
Barber. The shot away with 2 on his shot clock. It came away empty. Nice pass. Good finish by Meeks.
Boy, he's got great hands and great footwork, and that was a good high-low action between him and McAdoo.
So it's a 1-point game. Special with NC State and North Carolina get together. Warren puts it on the floor, knocked away. Again, there's a battle for the ball, and the Tar Heels come up with it.
They're getting most of the 50-50 balls in this game.
Into the corner for 3. JP Tokuto with the follow. And Marcus Page comes up limping. He went down hard.
Yeah, he's shaking it off. I think he's going to be okay.
So the foul is on Anya, his 3rd personal. As you look at Page, a little discomfort there. He's a tough kid.
I mean, nothing has come easy for NC State. Carolina has amped up the defensive energy a little bit. They're pretty stingy in the half court. That's been part of this 9-0 run as well. Their defense has gotten much better.
Really a tough night at the line for the Tar Heels. North Carolina just 8 of 18 tonight from the charity stripe.
And have not hit a 3.
There's a reason they call it the charity stripe. This is them both.
the second half of the game in North Carolina, running this little weave out front, trying to open up driving lanes.
Nice one-hander by Barber.
So they've gone with a little bit of a smaller lineup outside of Anya, but those are three perimeter players will run that weave.
Turnaround by Johnson. He's had a nice knee. He's got 8 points.
He's not going to out-muscle Anya, so he's going to have to create a little space, maybe put the ball on the floor and knock down some jump shots.
Trying to run that weave again, and it's taken away. And, boy, that was close because J.P. Tokido had the ball. He stepped on the line, but good hustle.
There it is, and they just kind of run this, just basic old-time basketball play, and it gives Barber a little room to get into the paint area.
That was another one of those 50-50 balls that Tokido almost came away with. Big fella's fouled. Anya will go to the line. Carolina kids thought they had a good block. Foul is on Bryce Johnson. That'll be his second personal. So B.J. Anya from Gaithersburg, Maryland, played for DeMatha High School in Hyattsville. This is the first.
So you'll see, I'm sure the same thing with Kennedy Meeks, that between your freshman and sophomore year, the chance to kind of remake your body a little bit, lose some weight, tone up, get into the weight room.
Well, a lane violation, so it'll belong to the blue. Shot was no good anyway. Carolina will get the ball with 12:18 to play in it. A little bit of a zone by the Wolfpack. Johnson looks at the shot, takes it. And a rebound by Washington. Warren. Splash!
And Tim, the first rush up the floor they've really had. Cat Barber very quick, and Turner has not had many open looks.
Correction. Turner. And Tokido knocks it out of bounds. Got blocked out by the official. It was Ralston Turner. How about this? Phil Ford. The great David Thompson. Tommy Burleson is in the house tonight. And, of course, for Carolina, Michael Jordan. Legends all. Discovery Channel's Fast and Loud. Enter today at theacc.com/Avalon for a chance for tickets to the ACC men's basketball tournament. Carolina now coming back with a zone. Warren left alone beyond the arc, gets a good look. Here's Anya again. Anya takes it strong to the rack, and it brings them to their feet.
What a night for a career night for him. This freshman, his first time playing second time playing in this rivalry at home.
Anya, just a freshman. Knocks down a three to answer.
A really nice screen that time by Mike McDonald. Gave him a lot of time. It's hard to imagine that they're only down by 3, shooting 8 of 19 from the free throw line.
I know. I agree. Not much better from beyond the arc. Here's Warren over there. Warren finishes strong.
Well, Tokido a little hampered with that foul trouble as well. Had to give up that drive.
Inside. McAdoo with the spin. The bucket of count. He'll go to the line to shoot one more.
Well, that's picking up, and that's a really good look by Warren, but Anya has been a beast inside on the offensive glass.
So at the other end, though, Anya picks up the personal. That's his 4th.
And there's that drive. Beautiful. What explosion. Bryce Johnson couldn't get there quickly enough.
So Anya goes out with 4 personals. Vandenberg checks back in for NC State. McAdoo at the line, and these are important. Can't finish the 3-point play. And the woes at the free throw line continue. Warren down the lane with a running one-hander. McDonald, the other end.
How about that? Off a made basket. They scored in about 3 seconds.
Cat Barber went over the table. He's not back on the floor yet.
He's coming back in. It's going to be okay.
And here he is.
North Carolina missed an opportunity to jump the ball, though, until he got back.
They had 5 on 4. Here we go with 20 on the shot clock. Warren behind his back. Big rebound underneath. Vandenberg tries to keep it alive. And Warren scores. 5-point lead. McAdoo. And a foul going the other way.
Bryce Johnson going to get the foul for over the back.
That's 3 on Johnson. And now they're in the bonus. And so NC State will go to the line 1-1.
Always stunning to me how quickly this team gets the ball off the floor out of a made basket. 1 dribble, 1 long pass. Like I said, about 3.5 seconds to out of bounds to basket.
Vandenberg makes the first. That's his first point of the night. 7'1" redshirt senior from Melbourne, Australia. Makes them both.
Only came in 4 of 9 on the year from the free throw line. See if they can find McDonald in this zone, get him some open looks.
Page, McDonald. Big rebound by Tokyo. Kicks it out to Page. Yes!
How many times do we see it, Tim? Off an offensive rebound to kick out for an open 3, and Tokoto is what we used to refer to as an easy rise. I mean, he just seems like gravity doesn't affect him at all. He goes up and gets the ball.
Like, you're so right about those second chance points. Vandenberg with a rebound, kicks it out. New 35. Warren comes up short, gets it back. He picks up the personal. That's 4 on T.J. Warren.
I mean, you can't even try to make that play in that situation. You have to have an understanding of your foul situation. You're not going to get this ball off of Marcus Page. That's just that's an unfortunate foul for Warren. Remember back to that 1840 minute mark when Warren was out. That's when North Carolina made their run back in.
This is the free throw. Meeks kicks it out to Britt. Down into the corner. Page, yes!
Second consecutive 3 off an offensive rebound, and that one on a missed free throw.
Timeout, NC State. Crowd not happy with the officials on the foul on Warren. A doubleheader coming your way Saturday. First at noon, Ryan Brown and Miami head north to take on the conference leading scorer, T.J. Warren and NC State. Then at 2:30, number 19 North Carolina and Marcus Page take on Jarrell Eddy and Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. All the information you need is on ACC.com. The ACC.com, the official ACC mobile app as well. Ryan Brown, Miami, and NC State, and of course Carolina and Virginia Tech.
Well, they just lost. Jim Larrañaga lost so much from last year, and Brown was their 6th man. He's had to be a primary scorer. nice job at 15 points, top 10 in the conference, but they are the lowest scoring team in the ACC at 62 points a game.
North Carolina has Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, and at Duke. And the tournament starts 2 weeks from today. 10 on the shot clock now as Cat Barber hears the crowd chanted out. Strong shot, not even close.
They got Page guarding Turner. Maybe try to work him into the paint area, let him use his size inside. Somebody is going to have to step up and fill the void with Warren on the bench.
Carolina looking for its first lead since the early moments of this ball game. As a matter of fact, there it is. They led 5-4, and now for the first time since, it's 53-52 Heels.
Big possession right now for NC State to answer.
I'm not sure you want Desmond Lee taking that shot. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. We'll return after these messages on your local ACC station.
North Carolina with a 1-point lead. Let's revisit our AT&T fast analysis. And we've talked about rebounding, how this is going to be critical. NC State a -16 over in Chapel Hill, but have hung in there in this game, Tim, and actually they've converted more of their offensive rebounds than the points the Tar Heels have.
Well, everybody that watches ACC basketball knows that Wake avoided a winless February by beating Clemson last night. The loss, a serious blow to the Tigers' NCAA tournament hopes. And NC State knows they need a win tonight against Carolina.
Charlie Lewis back in the ball game for Cat Barber, and it'll be interesting to see. Probably, I would imagine, try to get under the 4-minute mark.
Kyle Washington misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Without Warren, if you're Mark Gottfried, I wonder how long you can live with him sitting on the bench.
Tokuto, this is Page. Inside to Meeks. Kennedy Meeks takes it up strong. Has it blocked and taken away by Vandenberg.
Nice job holding his ground that time. Vandenberg limited minutes, but is a good shot blocker.
Desmond Lee.
Wow, what a huge shot from a guy who has not been seeing a big basket. North Carolina, I'm sure, would prefer him to take the jump shot, and he answers.
This is Page from beyond the arc. Buries it.
I tell you, he's really a second-half scorer.
Page with 14 points in the second half. Taken away by Carolina. Page never really squared it up, or Turner rather. This is McAdoo. How about Vandenberg working underneath?
2 blocks and a rebound.
Vandenberg with the finish.
Well, how about Vandenberg and Anya?
Wow. Vandenberg cleaning it up on the boards.
You know, sometimes he forgets he's 7-1, but he has played like it in the last couple of possessions. A factor inside. The block right there, the quick release, and then the run up the floor. That's exactly the 2 plays that this crowd needed.
And this arena is rocking. Keep in mind, NC State had 3 straight road games. They're glad to be home. And now they've got to feed off the energy of this crowd.
You want to know how you shoot 70%? have most of your shots dunks.
Good point. Page. Jump stop. Toe-to-toe into the paint. Running one-hander. Finishes.
Really tough shot. They've got Desmond Lee on Marcus Page.
Back and forth they go.
Here it is, the 4-minute mark, and T.J. Warren going over to the scorer's table.
And Washington double dribbles. Well, J.P. Tokido's had an impact in this game. He's had an impact on this entire team over this 9-game stretch.
Yeah, no, he's an electric player, and he's developing a nice little jump shot, too. Actually second in his team in assists, so he's been able to make plays as well.
T.J. Warren back in the ballgame. He went out at 8:01. He's back now. Follow, and we just talked about him. There he is. 16 points now tonight for Tokito. Carolina lead. Warren running one-hander, gets the roll. You've got the feeling this is the danger zone right now for State.
Yeah, no, but this is going to be a fun last 3.5 minutes to watch. Guys are stepping up and making big-time plays.
Johnson has it blocked.
Vandenberg again.
Lewis pushes it. And Desmond Lee is fouled.
And that's more his game. I mean, that's what he does. Attack the rim.
Desmond Lee goes up and says, hold on here a minute. We'll be back. A good one in Raleigh. Here's a game summary presented by Valero, Mike.
Tokito the double-double, but how about this, Tim? 7 of 9 shooting, also has 5 assists in the game. What a great line. And then Marcus Page, we talked about him. He's been a second-half scorer through this run. 4 points in the first half, very quiet, but has stepped up big here. 4 of 7 from 3, 18 points.
And just as a point of reference, Page averages 17. Warren averages 23. Although Warren has averaged 27 points when Lewis has been the point guard in the ACC games. So Desmond Lee at the line, 71% free throw shooter. Young sophomore from Statesville, North Carolina.
Toughness.
He led State's comeback against North Carolina earlier this year. But Carolina beat NC State 84-70. That was in Chapel Hill. Last tie was at 13-13. Now we're deadlocked at 60. And the foul's going to be on Tyler Lewis.
That was a pretty aggressive play by Nate Britt attacking the rim. With a little bit of a smaller lineup out there with McDonald at the 3.
So that was Oak Hill against Oak Hill.
Yeah,
Lewis fouled Britt.
Yeah, giving Tokito a little bit of a blow here. He's over on the bench. I don't know if he's got both of his legs extended. I don't know if he's got a little cramp issue.
Looks like he's also working with his wrist. And the roll, and Nate Britt makes them both.
Britt 94% in league play from the line.
NC State's lost a little movement. This is Desmond Lee. Tough shot by Warren, gets it to go. How about that?
Yeah, again, that's what instead of Tokito and McDonald guarding him, there's a size advantage. He took advantage of it in the post.
What's the call here now? Warren thought he asked for a timeout in time. But he didn't step on the line.
Well, yeah, you can't call timeout. He was going out of bounds.
He was out of bounds when he called it.
Yeah.
Great hustle, though, by Warren. And Carolina gets it back. Two and a half to play in the ball game. And his foul is on Lewis again. See if we can get a better look on this ball, Mike.
Now here's that look. The quick post almost got a hook on that play. Could have been called, but it was a good finish inside. He was far enough up from the baseline to be able to make that spin move underneath.
So Britt goes back to the line, and he's been highly efficient. And continues to be. 3 for 3 at the line. And Lee goes out of the ball game. Carolina or NC State now with its starting 5 on the floor.
They hit some big free throws down the stretch against Duke to help seal that win. 4 for 4 in the last 46 seconds.
And he gives the Tar Heels a 2-point lead. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds remain in this one. And it's on. The ACC mobile app features live games, videos, scores, stats, and news. Download it on your iPhone, iPad, or Android. Your team's your app. The ACC mobile app presented by Outback Steakhouse. Download it today.
Well, TJ Warren has been hampered today by foul trouble somewhat, not shooting nearly as high a percentage as he has been, but you've got to figure, Tim, that if he stays on the court, that he's going to figure prominently in the last 2.5 minutes.
Warren getting right around his average now. He's got 21. He averages 23. 8 of 18 from the field.
That's he's the highest scoring player in the power conferences around the country.
We talked to Roy Williams before the game as you look at Mark Godfrey, but Roy was saying he's not only the AC's leading scorer, best in field goal percentage. He's efficient.
And usually guys who are like that have to take a large amount of shots to get that number, or else they get to the free throw line a lot. Zone defense now by North Carolina.
And every possession now critical for both of these ball clubs. High pass to Lewis. That ball was partially blocked. So with 10 on the shot clock, it'll still be the Pac's ball. Don't forget that ACC doubleheader as we roll toward tournament time. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Warren. And gets the roll. How about that?
Might have got away with a little extra
I thought so
step
too.
On that.
He's got 23 points, right at his average. And we're tied at 64. Is fouled, and I think it's on Ralston Turner.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, both Britt and Page have been really aggressive, but here's the little hop step, and it's not a travel if you don't call it.
And Page gets the roll.
Both of them have been very aggressive at attacking NC State's guards and trying to make them defend and get to the line.
Carolina by 2 again. Page with 20.
Tell you what, they had a terrible start to this game from the line, but those two have been really solid down the stretch.
Roy Williams trying to give his club with this crowd is giving State. They double out on Lewis, and he calls a timeout.
Mark Godfrey just grimacing right now, having to burn a timeout in that situation. Lewis getting caught, and Carolina jumped him off that double. That is their last timeout.
Picked up his dribble. Took the last timeout with 1:23 remaining in Raleigh. Raleigh, North Carolina, as the Wolf looks on. Roy Williams with his Tar Heels. And how about the success Roy Williams has had against NC State?
26-2. He hadn't even had a good success when he was at Kansas. And
Never lost to NC State and Kansas.
We asked him for a game, and he, as much as anybody, has an appreciation for this rivalry. You see that winning percentage, Coach Bubis at the top, and Roy Williams right there, and he said Coach McGuire was the one that really got this thing cranked up, but he even remembers the Everett Case days here, so he has an appreciation of the history of these two teams.
He brought Jimmy B into it, no question. This is a tremendous rivalry with great traditions and great players. Warren again with a running one-hander. How about this shootout? Back and forth they go.
Wow, he's doing a smart thing, too. That little floater checking up. He's taking the charge away from it for that 5th foul.
65 seconds left. Page! 3-point game.
You know, North Carolina fans are probably saying we'd love a first half like this from Marcus Page, too, but he has come up huge.
Page jumps out on Lewis. Turner with a turnaround. 3!
NC State's going to get the ball back. They just have to defend without fouling here.
Bedlam in here. Tokido's shot won't go. Lewis takes it away. Shot clock is off.
They're going to go without the timeout. I love this move.
Final 10 seconds. They called the foul on Tyler Lewis.
Tony Warren, TJ Warren hit the deck hard, and he is still down.
Oh, my.
And Warren is really upset that he didn't get that call. It looks like there's contact on that play, but no call, and then that play.
Wow. Wow.
But you got to, still now, it's still they don't have a timeout, but there's 3 seconds left. So they've got to get this play set up. There's still time to come up the floor and get a shot off.
NC State, no timeouts left. They've had to go this way without him. Page makes them both. 2-point game with 3.6 left.
Maybe a long pass to Vandenberg and then a dish off.
Wow. Knocked away, 2-1, 1.5 left. And again, no chance to get the club together.
And I like that they're putting McAdoo on the ball on Lewis to get a little size on him.
And a foul on Are you serious?
Oh, my goodness.
McDonald with the foul.
Oh, my goodness. I've never seen a flurry like this at the end of the game, Tim. There's the look, and that's a hold. It's a good call.
It is. But both of these teams have played at such a high level here in the second half. What a finish. 4 of 6 at the line as Warren, and makes the first. And you can almost feel everybody hold their breath at PNC. Look at Lee at the top of the key. Like he can't stand to watch.
And there's still enough time for a catch and shoot in 1.5 seconds.
Makes the second one. We're tied at 71 with 1.5 left. Timeout, Carolina.
Carolina.
The way this game's been going, there's at least room for 2 more plays.
Welcome to the ACC. What was Roy telling him in the timeout?
Well, he just reminded him again that you don't have to rush it. There's a chance for a catch and a shoot here.
And after what just happened, you want to tell yourself, if you're NC State, no fouls. They're going to put more on the clock.
Yeah, they got it to half court.
More time on the clock.
Now this is big to look on it, because if it's more than .3, there's enough time for a catch and shoot. It's not like .7. It looked like that's when he called for the, I got the timeout.
And that just gets everybody else pumped up in PNC Arena. For the 226th time, it's NC State and North Carolina, and they put .8 back on the clock.
Once again, so now you can get a curl, maybe look for something like a double screen for Page and get him curling to that left hand.
Mark Gottfried hadn't had much time with his team over the last 5 minutes, so he's keeping them in the huddle as long as he can. Here we go, the final .8 seconds. They got to get Mark Gottfried back in the coach's box.
The thing with Barber, he's got to be careful not to get the same call on a hold on Page if he's the one coming off the screen.
Les Jones explains he can't move. Turnaround by Page. And we're going into overtime. Well, it's what you would expect from a rivalry like this. We're deadlocked at 71. NC State's largest lead in this ballgame was 11. Carolina wouldn't go away. The 19th ranked Tar Heels kept fighting back. We're now tied at 71 going into overtime. There is foul trouble everywhere. TJ Warren and BJ Anya each have 4. Bryce Johnson has 4, and Leslie McDonald has 4. NC State now has 1 timeout. Carolina has 2. Page for 3.
You know, I mean, that's been your guy in the second half, but I don't know about that shot. It was awfully quick and early in the clock. You know, he was trying to give his team a little bit of a boost. Isolation for him.
Warren running one-hander, too strong, gets his own rebound, backs it in.
Why, just willing this team. You know, there's been Warren for State and Page for North Carolina.
Inside to Meeks. Back outside to Page. Ten on the shot clock. Page to the rack, has it blocked. 5 on the shot clock. Tokido to the rack.
Well, that was a really solid defensive possession for North Carolina State. Kyle Washington with the cleanup, and then Vandenberg. Quietly, he's played a big role down the stretch for NC State. They're just trying to give the ball to Warren on a clean out as much as they can.
And he's fouled. Warren did not shoot it. He was passing the ball, but he was fouled. And the foul is on Tokito, his fourth.
Here's the thing, and able to get to that right hand, but then just outworked everybody to get the offensive rebound. And then coming in, that was a terrific help side play by Kyle Washington.
And so TJ Warren at the line. Boy, he has been money at the free throw line and now has 30 points.
Let's see if North Carolina reacts, if they keep running that ISO on that left side, if they run somebody at him to get the ball out of his hands.
Page and Britt both in the ball game now. Tokito goes out with 4 personals. State by 4. At the other end.
Yeah, he's okay. He's down. Kyle Washington, a couple of blocks, really igniting this crowd. Look at this, and this is the guy you want the ball in his hands, making decisions.
Foul is on Leslie McDonald, and that is 5 personals. So McDonald is disqualified.
And they're still working on Tokito. He has got calf cramps.
And Warren back at the free throw line. And misses it. Two-possession game. Carolina came back from an 11-point deficit and actually took the lead. Now in overtime, down by 6. Page, yes, and timeout Carolina. And so Page makes it a 3-point game. He now has 28 points. 2:36 remaining in the overtime.
Well, you look at TJ Warren, and this is why he is a first-team All-ACC candidate and a Player of the Year candidate as well. Making the plays. That free throw tied the game up. The hustle play here in overtime. He has scored all of NC State's 6 points in this extra session.
Well, all those 6 points in the overtime for NC State. He's got 33 on the night. Terrific performance by TJ Warren.
7th 30-point performance of the year.
Still a 1-possession game. 2:20 to play in the overtime. And the ball was kicked. It'll belong to NC State. Pretty efficient night.
At one point it was 7 of 17.
Had to hit those 2 free throws with a lot of pressure to tie the game at 71. This is Turner. Yes, that's for 3.
Oh, and you know what? That's a great look by Vandenberg, too, on the baseline.
Carolina answers with a 2 by Bryce Johnson.
You cannot celebrate against this team. You have to go into a defensive mode automatically. And that was again, after a made basket. That was less than 3 seconds up the floor.
NC State not worried about melting the clock and shortening the game, but being aggressive. And Warren again. What a performance by TJ Warren.
Well, with Tokito out and McDonald out, they had to go to a big cover with McAdoo.
Page answers. How about Marcus Page? Timeout, Carolina.
Well, I haven't seen a one-on-one shootout like this in a long time.
Marcus Page has 31.
Well, there's that nice find outside to Ralston Turner for the three by Vandenberg, and then the one-on move. They've been giving him those side clearouts, this time on the right-hand side for Warren. And then Marcus Page has had an answer for just about everything.
Career high for Warren at 31, or 35, correction, and Marcus Page, 31. Marcus Page, Carolina's MVP. He had that little slump, shooting slump in January. Safe to say he's out of it. Look at this.
Yeah, it's again, first half, second half. What an amazing performance by him. And then when you're fatigued, to continue to knock down threes is not easy. North Carolina now without any timeouts. NC State with one left.
Don't forget, coming up Saturday, doubleheader, Miami, NC State with Carolina, Virginia Tech. 2 weeks from today, the ACC tournament starts. 15 teams. There'll be a whole lot of basketball. We'll start with the bottom 6. Then the muddle in the middle comes in. Pittsburgh, Clemson, NC State, Florida State, Maryland will get involved. And the top 4 get a bye all the way until semifinals.
Yep. But there have been some crazy results this year. This could be an interesting tournament.
.70 seconds left in the overtime. Tyler Lewis with 15, now trying to milk the clock. Under a minute to play, and fouled by Britt. That's 4 on Britt.
Tyler Lewis doing his best Marcus Haynes imitation out there, keeping control of the ball. Those two have been going at it. Lewis normally reliable at the free throw line, 78%.
Makes the first, has another one coming. Tyler Lewis, a 5'10 sophomore from Statesville. Went to Oak Hill Academy, where they were 44-0 and played for legendary coach Steve Smith.
Desmond and Lee into the game, offense and defense.
Misses the second.
And put him on Marcus Page, try to calm him down.
Page trying to free up, 45 seconds left. Nice pass. And this foul's going to be on Lee.
And how about that? Page is the guy on the offensive rebound. They stayed with him, doubled, try to get the ball out of his hands.
Checking to make sure he has his teeth.
Yeah, and they forced him to go right, which was the good play, but you got to clean that rebound up.
Caught a elbow to the teeth, rattled his fillings. 3-point game.
Again, so just under 7 seconds between shot and game clock. So
Lee goes out. Ralston Turner comes back in for State.
Plenty of time for North Carolina. You just need to stop without a foul.
Carolina brings in Luke Davis, and Johnson goes out. Page with another one coming. 83-81. Career high for Page, 33 points. Warren tries to split the double team. Knocked out of bounds. Carolina ball.
Wow, he just dribbled himself into trouble in that baseline in a terrific double team.
Well, I don't know. They're going to go look at it.
And what you can do now, that's a reviewable play.
The crowd saw it on the big screen and let them know what they thought. And now they will review it. Warren tried to split the double team, had it knocked loose.
Put the ball.
And who touches it last?
From that angle, it looked like Warren. It's a tough angle to see. It looks like it hits his shoulder on the way out.
Thought it came off his shoulder.
I don't know that there's going to be enough evidence to overcome that.
And that's the key. Yeah. There has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the floor. Here's another angle. And it does look like it comes off his shoulder.
Yeah, because, you know, I think what the NC State fans are upset about is that there wasn't a foul on it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It looks like McAdoo's hands are behind the play, but does Britt hit it at all or touch it at all?
I don't know. I can't tell. I know Carolina fans think it's their ball, and NC State fans believe it's theirs.
I think that's again the reaction from the crowd that you heard was that there wasn't a foul call in that initial play.
It's going to belong to Carolina. Down 2 with 36.9 seconds left in overtime.
Well, the interesting decision here is, you know, my philosophy is you go for the win on the road, the tie at home. But if you're Roy Williams, you know, do you just go for the tie here and extend?
Well, you've got 31 on the shot clock. That can't be right. And 36.9 left in the game.
Yeah, there's obviously
got to make it 35 on the shot clock.
There's a change in possession, so
there you
it's got to go. Yeah.
So now they change it. So 36.9 left in the game, 35 on the shot clock. Now that they change it so everybody can see it. This is Britt working on Lewis. Inside, McAdoo, yes! And we're tied at 83.
All right, if you're NC State right now, you just want to make sure you get the last shot of this extra period. Give yourself a little extra time for some offensive rebounding. Maybe I think they'll give Warren a clear out. It'll be interesting to see if North Carolina goes at him.
Final 10 seconds. And the foul will be called on McAdoo. And Warren will go back to the line. Look at Roy Williams.
Well, you know, with Tokoto having his issues, he's coming back onto the bench, and McDonald fouled out.
And Warren misses. He's now 8 for 12 tonight.
It was a tough matchup for him.
Fatigue has to become a factor at some point. Warren makes the second. NC State by 1.
Marcus
5
Page
seconds. 3 seconds. Page. Yes! 0.9 seconds left. This one's good if it goes. And Carolina holds on to win.
Was there any doubt who was going to take that last shot for North Carolina? Got a nice little brush screen there. You let him get to his left hand. He is too tough, and he just put this team on his back.
35 points for Marcus Page. And how about Warren finally missing, and they lose by 1. For our next telecast, tune in to doubleheader Saturday, North Carolina State and Miami at noon. Then at 2:30, North Carolina takes on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Don't forget, we have more coverage of UNC. Win tonight with the ACC postgame live on the ACC.com starting right now. That's all from Chapel Hill. You've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.